Hi everybody. Today we are going to talk about one of my most favorite things in the world, which is fundraising reports. So what you put out to your board, to the members of your development department, and your organizational leadership really should do three things. One, it should share the story of how your fundraising is faring, whether good or bad. It should empower each of those three audiences to engage in fundraising. So really it should be actionable. Every report that you put out should drive some sort of action from your board, your leadership, or the members of your development department. And then third, your report should be beautiful and easy to read and joyful, frankly. People look forward to getting them. And then fourth, if you're really enlightened, they should be automated. So we can talk about that in another video. But let's just whet your appetite here with our favorite fundraising report templates. Okay, so this first one is a template that we built for a client. This was a food bank. They were doing an $8 million capital campaign. So this went to their leadership every month. And this was the final report, right? They surpassed their goal. They raised $8.1 million. Now, the beautiful thing about this report is you can see that $8.1 million broken down in three different views. So here at the top, of course, you've got the goal, and they reached their goal, and they had 732 donors. But then you see the $8.1 million broken down by donor designation. So how much of it was unrestricted versus how much was endowment? Now, you can see here, this was the $8 million breakdown that they had. But if you were going to build this report for just annual fundraising, which I would recommend, by the way, you don't have to have just two. You can have 4 or 5. You can have unrestricted. You can have, big bucket, big categorizations of your funds. So people just know where the funds are going. Then you have the $8.1 million broken down by gift size. And so here you can see where donors fell in essentially this is their gift pyramid. Now, just so you're aware, this is based on total cumulative giving throughout the campaign. So let's just say that I was giving $100 a month and I gave that for one full year. I would really only show up one time at the $1,200 level. So this is number of donors and where they fell post-campaign for their entire giving during the campaign. And then, of course, this bottom is you have the $8.1 million now broken down by donor type. So your board, your leadership can understand where the revenue came in and where you were successful with your efforts and maybe where you weren't. Like, for example, this food bank thought that the companies would bring in $500,000. Well, they landed at $143,000. And it is what it is, but it's just nice to know there could be some work there on corporations. So this is one of my favorite reports. It's clean, it's easy to digest, and it lets really audiences who are not full-time fundraisers understand where the money is coming. Okay, so that's one of my favorites. Let's go to the next one. So this is a board report for a hospital system in New Jersey. And we built this for them because they really wanted their board to have just a layer deeper understanding of how money is coming in and who's giving. So it looks very simple, but there's a lot happening on this report. So across the top, you've just got your big categories, right? There's only 4 categories. So this hospital system, all the things that they do roll up into 4 big buckets. If you're going to build this report, I would recommend not having more than 5. Otherwise, it just gets too lengthy, and then people just go into analysis paralysis. So roll everything up, direct mail and online giving. This is like 40 different appeals, but we rolled it up into one big bucket. Now, down the side here, you have your, again, big constituent groups. So board members, physicians, patients, foundations and DAFs, corporations and organizations. So the beautiful thing with this report is you can see, for example, your board members gave $350,000 to your events, but the events as a whole brought in $6.5 million. So a lot going on here, even though it's very simple and very digestible. The other thing is now we've introduced some trend data. So it's very easy for your board members, your leadership, your development department colleagues to understand, for example, with physicians and medical groups, like, oh, we're down around 28 donors from where we were this time last fiscal year. They might be down donors, but they're ahead in revenue. So, and it lets you just see the trend compared to where you are today. And then lastly, just where you are based next to budget. This organization still has $2.2 million to raise, but at least their board, when they look at this monthly, they can see who's giving, how they're giving, and how it compares to last year. So powerful, easy to read. This next one is an annual dashboard, really for board members and leadership. Now, it's a little candy coated, I admit that, but it's crazy effective. So this is just the previous fiscal year at a glance with, some key metrics. So this organization, their goal was $9 million. They ended up raising 10.7. And here's the visual breakdown of how that revenue came in. And then here's the monetary. So you can see, foundations were, 12% of the revenue with 1.2 million in the door. Then we have cost to raise $1. So this standard metric, anybody that's conscious knows that this is a metric that most board members and funders, frankly, are interested in. So this organization is 32 cents. The previous year it was 46 cents. So they actually decreased their cost to raise $1 and raised more than their goal, which is pretty impressive. But what I want to point out here, and what I think is actually a stronger metric, is the ROI, so your return on investment. It's actually the inverse calculation of cost to raise $1. So you could say to the board, yeah, it cost us 32 cents to bring in $1. Meh. However, I like the ROI because it's a very different statement. I don't know why, but it just is. To say, when you give us $1, we bring you back $3.14. For some reason, that just lands, because frankly, it's if your board members, your leadership have like stock investments, it's a really good ROI. So you can see it's the same calculation, just the inverse of the denominator. Okay, then we like to just show the board, out of 10 donors, how many were retained, and then board giving. I always like to put this in here because it's a very soft way to let board members know. Well, it's a very soft way to let board members who aren't giving realize they need to give. So you've got your participation, your median gift, and total giving from the board. So it's very candy coated, but I promise it's a day maker. It's a visual. People can take it, soak it in a glance, and they'll look at it. Your board members will look at it. Okay, let's go to our next one. This is also one of my favorites. They're really kind of all my favorites, but this is a dashboard that each major gift officer receives. And so we built this for a healthcare system in the Midwest. And they wanted to know what their major gift officers, this is built for each one, but we'll just say Susie. So what has Susie forecasted versus what has she closed? They wanted to know, did Susie meet her forecast for the month? And how is she doing when she tracks toward the year? What is Susie's portfolio size? Which, by the way, for the record, this is way too big. But what's the capacity of her portfolio and how many people in the portfolio are actually giving it capacity. This right here, worth the price of admission. Okay, so how many asks have been made toward goal? We've also got the QC is the quality contact. So these are, substantive actions that your fundraisers are taking. So you can see how many meetings, how many phone calls, how many emails. Then you've got Susie's portfolio and where are her prospects by moves management stage. And so if you're managing Susie and you see month over month that there's the same 50 in identification, you can say like, why can't we move these people? Or is your portfolio too big? And then we've got Susie's solicitation. So her average solicitation is 44,000 compared to the group average. So all of the MGOs is at 39,000. So this also is a day maker. Major gift officers, they like getting it. They like seeing where they are. They like seeing progress and impact. And it's a friendly reminder that they have to put their quality contacts into the database. So it's helpful for that too. Okay, our last report template that I want to talk to you about today is major gift officer metrics. So this also is kind of a crowd pleaser. So what you're looking at here is the top metrics that this department only has 4 metrics. Oh, I'm sorry, 5 with total raised. And you can see here are their 4 gift officers. And so you can see where Jones is, he or she is reaching 99% of their portfolio. They only had 4 meetings last month. They've met their goal. The little blue line's the goal. They've met their goal of asks of 10K plus. They've met their goal of the percentage of the portfolio that's given a major gift. They're almost to goal with their goal. So they've raised 7.2 million. This is probably an $8 million goal. And then I just put this in here. This is it's kind of like a balanced scorecard. So this tells us Jones's performance compared to what his or her metrics are. So it doesn't compare Jones to other gift officers. It really just compares Jones to his or her metrics. And so this is just an easy way to see of the group, Jones is the only one that's actually trending ahead of their goal. And you can see with this report, different gift officers have different goals, it's just nice to see it in one beautiful dashboard. Now, this is something that you would just use to manage major gift departments. It is helpful. I mean, major gift officers like to see it. So this report, I think our 4 major gift officers, they get it every month. They get this report so they can see where they are. And then they also get this report individually so they can see what their metrics are and how things are working for their portfolio. Okay, I hope you enjoyed today's video. These are powerful fundraising reports that you can build and put into action immediately. I mean, really, there's 4 things that your gift officers need to do to build these reports. And it's quite easy by design. So the first is they need to track their portfolio. They have to assign themselves as a solicitor. The second is they need to enter their quality contacts, their actions into the database. Third is they need to track where each person in their portfolio is in the moves management stage. So this person's in cultivation, this person's in stewardship, this person has just been identified. And fourth is they need to track their asks. So how much are they asking for and when are they asking? If they can just do those 4 things in the database, all of these reports can be populated. Okay, so hit that like button if you liked this. We also have another download that is this deck plus a couple bonus reports that we also love to do. So you'll see that in the notes below. But I hope this inspires you to, change up your fundraising reports. Thanks for watching.